Welcome back to Let's Clone. My name would be Toast, and this is a very quick tutorial on how to import sprite sheets and crop them into frames, or convert them into frames. Something that most of these tutorial projects have to do, and I don't want to have to go over it every time, so I'm just going to link to this video when that happens. Let's go. So I'm going to do my best to create a bit of a sprite sheet every time I create one of these tutorials. Sometimes I'll create a blank project file that has all the sprites already done. Either way, some type of method for me to make it a little bit simpler for you guys. Right now I'm working on balloon fights, like the NES arcade game, so we're just going to use that sprite sheet as our test file. Here I've included the two balloons and the one balloon. We're just going to pick one. It doesn't matter. We don't need to go all the way through this. But you're going to import it either by clicking on import right here like I did, or on the right click you can choose sprites from images. Now, what I typically do is I will name one just like sprite sheet. This just saves a little bit of time. And then I will do everything from duplicating that one, and then say I would do like sprite, player, idle, two balloons. I don't know, however you want to name it. And then from here I would turn this one into my frames, and I would leave this one so I can just duplicate it for the next one and the next one and the next one. It's a little bit quicker than having to import the whole file every time. We'll make sure we're on this. We're going to go down to edit image, and in the title of that thumbnail I had written down the aspect ratio for each frame. I forgot to include it in the image itself, but these are all 16 by 24. So we're going to go down to up in the corner, image, convert to frame. Unfortunately there's no hotkey here. I don't know if we can manually create one or something. It would be nice, but convert to frame. And you'll be greeted with this little window. Let's make it a bit of a bigger window just for fun. All right, you've got a whole bunch of information down the side. You've got number of frames and frames per row. It's going to be immediately important. We're going to have, you can see most of these sequences or animations have 3 frames, so we're going to change that to a 3. But by default, there's only 1 per row, so you'll see all of these boxes are now aligned along the column. So we're going to go 3 per row. And as I mentioned before, this is, I believe it was 16 by 24. You'll see that it still doesn't line up. I didn't want to include that outer frame in the shape itself, so I guess in the frame, the sprite itself. So you're going to play around with all of these. You can do horizontal and vertical cell offsets, which is like right here, for example, if I do it by 1, it's going to jump over one whole frame, one whole cell. Pixel offsets will move that entire thing over, and separations, which will just increase the gaps between them all. So you can see from here, if we go over horizontal by 1 and vertical by 1, we're now lined up perfectly. You can also just click and drag, and whatever your origin point is, it'll snap to that. Now I want to do a horizontal separation, which is going to just align those right up nicely. Convert, confirm, and you can play it. You've got a little idle animation. As I said, this one's pretty simple. It's redundant. You've got to go through this time and time again for all of your assets, all of your players, all of your enemies, even grabbing your environment sprites if you're pulling everything from a big sprite sheet. A lot of times for these clones, I will find online a sprite sheet that just has just about every asset crammed into one page. So I'm doing this all the time to pull my assets out. That's kind of funny. Yeah, dude, you're going to do this a lot. If there's a simpler way to do it and I find it out, I'll make another video to update it. But hope you learned something. Get ready for the Let's Clones. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of games.